So welcome to 11.3. This is the second day of factoring trinomials. So let's remind ourselves what we did yesterday, right? You're looking for two numbers here that multiply to make 1 add up to 2. So what would that be? X plus 1 times x plus 1, right? Because it has to be 1 and 1. Here, two numbers that multiply to make 1 add up to -2. That'd be -1 and -1. So the x minus 1 times x minus 1. Here, two numbers that multiply to make 6 add up to 5, x plus 2 and x plus 3. And here, it would be x minus 2 and x minus 3 because they add up to -5 and multiply to make +6. Now, the ones at the top here, what would be another way to write that? We could write that as x plus 1 squared. We could write this as x minus 1 squared, right? And so what does that mean? It means these were perfect squares, right? Like 49, we found the factors of 49 are 7 and 7. The factors of that perfect square are x minus 1 and x minus 1. X minus 1 squared. All right, so in all the problems yesterday, there was a plus sign there. And that's because those are the easier ones. When you have a minus sign here, those are the harder ones. Because you have a minus sign, that means you need two numbers that multiply to make -12. And that means that one of them has to be negative and one of them has to be positive. Now they had to add up to +1 here, right? So if they add up to +1, that means there's more of the positives than there are of the negatives. Right? If that was a -1 there, then it would have been the other way around. So let's see this. Okay. So every time you have a minus there, right? We need two numbers that multiply to make -6 add up to 5. Okay. So in this one, we're multiplying to make a negative and add up to a positive. Now, what multiplies to make 6? 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Now, you might be tempted to do -2 and -3, but that doesn't work at all, right? -2 times -3 is +6, and that adds up to -5. So that's totally wrong on both counts, right? Now, if it's 1 and 6, now one of these has to be negative, and it has to be the -1. Why? Because they have to add up to +5. You need more of the positives. -1 times +6 is -6, all right? So this is x minus 1 times x plus 6. It can't be anything else, right? And let's just do FOIL to double check it, right? FOIL would be x squared, outer 6x, inner minus 1x minus 6, and then you would add the like terms and you get x squared plus 5x minus 6, what you started with. These are the only combination of factors that multiply to make that trinomial. All right, so let's try another one of these. All right, so again, we're trying to make -6, but now we're trying to add up to -5. So this time the 6 is the negative and the 1 is the positive, right? And so it's x plus 1 and x minus 6. That's the one that will make that. All right, so let's try these. Multiply to make -10, add up to +3. So there's more of the positive. So +5, -2, yeah, x plus 5, x minus 2 will make that. Multiply to make -10, add up to -3. That means there's more of the negatives. So -5 and +2. So x minus 5, x plus 2. So let's just look at the pattern. So whenever you have a minus there, you're going to get one each. One of a positive, one of a negative in your diamond. If there are more of the negatives, right? If there's a minus, there'll be more of the negatives, -5 instead of +2. If there's a positive there, there'll be more of the positives, +5 versus -2. All right, let's try this. Multiply to make -6, add up to 1. So more, 3 times 2 is 6, but it's 3 times -2 is -6. 3 plus -2 is +1. So it's x plus 3, x minus 2. And let's remember, if you're asked what the factors are, it's these things. These little things in the diamonds are not the factors of this trinomial. The factors of this trinomial are x plus 3 and x minus 2. All right, so now we're multiplying to make negative 6 and add up to negative 1. So now it's negative 3 and positive 2. All right, so it's x minus 3 and x plus 2 in any order. X plus 2, did I say that right? All right, so the area of this rectangle, right, I need two numbers that multiply to make negative 8, add up to 2. So negative, now it's not going to be negative 4, it's going to be negative 2 and positive 4, right? Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2. So I'm going to put x plus 4 here on the long side, x minus 2 on the short side. All right, now there are ones that have no factors other than, right, if I give you the numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, not 9, 13, 17, not 15, 19, and 23, and so on. What are those numbers called? They're called prime, and that's because, right, the only way to make them are 1 and itself. All right, some trinomials are prime. So two numbers that multiply to make negative 3 add up to negative 2, right? Well, 3, it's got to be a 1 and a 3, okay? And so this one, yeah, this one works because 1 times negative 3 is negative 3, 1 plus negative 3 is negative 2. So this one works. Now this one, though, I don't think works because the only way to make 3 is 1 and 3, right? And you can't make negative 4 with one of them being negative. If you make both of them negative, that turns into positive 3, right? So there's no combination that works here, all right? There's no combination. We're going to write that this is prime. Now, there are no prime ones in the homework, so you don't be writing prime on your homework, all right? But that they do exist. The answers to this one are x minus 3. The only time I ever ask you about prime is, well, I'll do it just like this. Which one of these is prime? Just because you can't figure it out on the homework does not mean it's prime. All right, there's none. None on the front of the homework. You've been warned. All right, and so that one has to be, oops, do I have this backwards? I totally have this backwards. It's x minus 3. No, it's x plus 1. I'm talking about the homework and I'm forgetting what I'm doing. All right, so it's x minus 3 times x plus 1, right? Because it's these numbers. All right, so we're going to mix all these together. Let's see. So this one is x, right? You need one of each. So multiply to make negative 4, add up to positive 3. So there's more of the positives, right? There are more of the positives here. Now, you can write the diamond. Okay, you can also not write the diamond. So multiply to make negative 14, right? They all start with x, so I put that, and I'm going to need 1 plus and 1 minus. You can just do it that way, or you can write minus plus, and I think it's going to be 2 and 7 are the factors, because I can make x minus 7 and x plus 2 instead of making your diamond. All right, so we're going to have the x squared, so it starts with x. It's all plus, so these are pluses. This is easy. Multiply to make 20, add up to 12. I first thought it was 4 and 5, but that adds up to 9. 2 and 10, oh, they add up to 12. So x plus 2, x plus 10. Here, multiply to make 12, add up to 8. All right, well, 3 and 4 do that, but they don't add up to 8. 2 and 6, they add up to 8. Now, this is positive, so, and this is negative, so we have this combination. One of them is minus 2, and one of them, whoops, is minus 6. Yes, they multiply to make positive 12 to add up to negative 8. Right? These are the easy ones from yesterday. When you have plus, when you have a plus in the end, they're easy, because if you have a minus there, but they're both minus. If you have a plus there, they're both plus. The hard ones are the ones at the top. When you have a minus up here in that last position, that means you're going to have one of each. This means more of the minus, this means more of the plus. Okay, these backwards ones with minus right there, these are tricky. So let's try this one. All right, so sometimes the diamond doesn't even work here. So let's see, I need to make 6, right? So it's 1 and 6 or 2 and 3. It's one of those, right? And we got to make negative 5, right? And we have a negative there. So one of these has to be minus and one has to be plus. And the x goes there and x goes there. Now what we have to figure out is this front number. All right, so I'm going to try just some things. So say I try 2 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6, so I get the 6. Then I get negative 3x, outer is 2x, and I get 2x plus negative 3x, that's negative 1x, so it's not 2 and 3 that way. Right? And I need to have more with the negative. Now this one is actually with the negative, because when I do inner. So I'm going to try 6 and 1 now. Let's see. 1 times 6 is 6, outer plus 1x, inner minus 6x, negative x times x, negative x squared. Yeah, that's negative 5x, 6 minus 5x. This was a tough one. All right, let's try another one. All right, so we have, right, it's a minus x squared. So you're going to have a minus x and a plus x. And we have, yeah, this has got to be 2 and 5. We just got to figure out which one is which. I think this is 5 and this is 2, because 5 times 2 is 10, outer plus 5x, inner negative 2x, last negative x squared. Yeah, that's the one. All right, and I'm just trial and erroring those. Those are tricky. But key, right, since you had a minus there, you needed 1 minus, 1 plus. Right, and then the combinations to multiply to make 6 and multiply to make 10. Okay. All right, so let's try different ones here. I think this is mixed practice, means they could be from either day. So 10, multiply to make 10, add up to 9, and it's going to be different ones. So I think x plus 10, x minus 1, 10x minus 1x, yes. This is x, so I got to multiply to make 16, add up to 6. I think x minus 8, x plus 2. Now, if you're not doing it as fast as me, that's because I've been doing it a long time. It takes practice. This is definitely something that takes practice. All right, 48. All right, there's a lot of factors of 48, but I think 6 times 8 is the first one to come to mind, and 6 plus 8 is 14. So I think x plus 6 times x plus 8 is the one. And here, 24 has a lot of factors, right? You have 1 and 24, and 2 and 12. They're not, right? 3 and 8, oh, they make 11, and there's 4 and 6, but 3 and 8 look good here. And they both have to be minus, because we have minus there. And x minus 8, yeah, that makes minus 11x in the middle, plus 24. Okay, so more of this backwards one. So, right? So it's plus x squared, but it's minus there. So we're going to have 2 minus x's here, I believe, right? To get the plus x squared and get the minus in the middle. And 14, it's 14 and 1 or 7 and 2. And I think this 7 and 2 make a lot of sense. 7 times 2 is 14. Outer negative 7x, inner negative 9x, last plus x squared, yes. All right, so this one has a negative x squared. So one of them has to be minus x, one of them has to be plus x. And it's that 7 and 2 again. We need more of the minuses, which, right, the minuses are here, negative x times 7, right? That's what's, I think, confusing about these, right? So this is 2 minus x times 7 plus x. 2 times 7, 14, outer 2x, inner minus 7x. That makes the negative 5x. Yep, that's the answer. Final question, right? What makes 36? Well, 4 and 9, but they don't make 9. 3 and 12 make 9. How do they make 9? How about we have a minus there, one of each. So I'm thinking x plus 3 here, x minus, I don't need parentheses, I always forget that because we're not multiplying them. X squared minus 12x, yep, that's it. This side is x minus 12 because minus 12 is going to be the short side, x plus 3 is going to be the long side, and good luck with the homework.